If there was only one practice or one advice that you would give someone, what would it be?
If there's only one bit of advice, what would it be? Do people take advice? That's an interesting question. Generally, people do what they're going to do anyway. And if you give them advice that corresponds with what they'd kind of already thought they were going to do anyway, then they'll take it. But if it doesn't, they generally don't. So what's the most important thing to say? The most important thing to say is you can do it. There is something, and you can have it. There is this heart, there is this divine principle within us, and you can have it. That the biggest mistake is to think you can't do it, and the next biggest mistake is to think that you can do it. It's something that's given, and it's given immaculately. It's given in such a way that makes you feel as if the entire creation was kind of made just for you. And that the way that that realization unfolds and the beings that come to facilitate that, there's something about them that makes it feel very personal. As if there is some, I can completely understand why Christians and people think that God is an old man with a big grey beard. I can understand that because the relationship with this absolute has a personal aspect to it. It just feels personal. Now maybe, there isn't a being sitting there doing it, doling it all out, but it sometimes feels like that. So the best bit of advice that was ever given to me by my master was, I'd been practicing a lot, making a lot of effort, and I started to feel that my inspiration was running low. And he came to me in a dream and he took my hand and he looked at my hand and he said to me, never give up. Never give up. And there are times when that instruction, which is in my heart very deeply, it keeps me going when all else has failed. Because, it takes a certain amount of determination. There is a view which is like, okay, you don't have to meditate, you don't have to do anything, you are it. It is what it is and you are it. It's just boundless seeing, and all that kind of, don't do anything, just be with what is. That kind of stuff. And it's very popular. Why? Because it requires absolutely zero effort. And these people, no question, they do get an experience. They do get an experience. But the difference between the people who do that and the people who make consistent, focused, directed, instructed effort is the depth of the experience received. Is it on the superficial level of the mind, or is it on the depth of the mind? The practice, does it clear away the obstructions of the past? Does it cleanse the defilements? Does it remove the samskaras? Does it dissolve the vasanas, these deep-rooted imprints? Or does it give you just a nice sense of, oh, that's nice. Oh, I feel all light and I can feel the energy. Oh, that's nice. The difference is in depth and profundity and realization. Let's not confuse understanding with realization. The fact that you understand the mechanics of emptiness, the self or the non-self, the relationship between the appearance of the Atman, the Jiva, the Paramatman, Brahma, Param Brahma, that you understand all that, and actually realizing it experientially, there's a big difference. The difference is that if I came with a hammer and hit you over the head, your understandings would all go, with your memory banks being crushed. But what you've realized, that is you. That becomes you and yours. It becomes part of your subtle body, part of your energeticness. It's you. Can't be lost once gained. So there's a big difference. You know, what's the best advice? Get out of your mind. You're not your body. You're not your mind. Look more closely. The experience of life is limited by the fact we identify as being our body and our mind. But what is awareness? To bring the consciousness up to the level of awareness, one way or another. And have that then dissolve your attachment to being a body. To dissolve your attachment to being the thinker. To bring you enough stillness to be able to see that your thoughts arise of their own accord, given by who you're being in any one moment. Once we realize those two things, I'm not my body, I'm not my mind, then the whole thing opens up. And that's the most exciting journey there is. Then if I'm not my body and I'm not my mind, what am I? What have I always been? What have I been in every single moment, conscious or unconscious? What is common to every single moment? No matter where I am, how I'm feeling, or what I'm doing. So the best advice, what's the best advice? Seek the truth. Look for the peace. Find the happiness that isn't created by anything. Don't give up. Choose love. Choose to know. Recognize that who you truly are has not been touched by any of the trauma of your life. Recognize that you're not broken. Recognize that you're whole. And that who you truly are can never be touched by anything that happens. Even death and separation from the bodies does not make any difference to who you truly are. Find that out for sure, experientially, while you're in these bodies.